Hey everyone, Gavin here at Other Worlds Austin with Fanboy TV, and I'm joined by
Bradley King, co-writer and director of Time Lapse.
co-writer. So you're not going to get to take all the credit for this awesome movie?
No, I wish. Yeah, when I was in film school, my head was full of the whole auteur theory, and I was determined to never direct anything I didn't write by myself. But I don't know. Then I grew up, I guess, a little bit, and met a great co-writer, and so yeah, I have to share credit.
So how much of the movie did you write? Did you write like the first act, or did you write the second, or did you write the part with the guy standing outside the window?
I wrote fade in and fade out.
Oh,
and
so
then
you
he
had all the
wrote-
hard parts.
Yeah, exactly. The beginning
Where
and
to
the ending are
fade
the
in,
hardest.
where to
Took me a
fade
long
out.
time.
So Time Lapse, where did the idea for this movie come from? Because you haven't read my review yet because I just asked you about it, but to say it's glowing is an understatement.
I'm excited.
We like time travel movies, but yours is a very different take on time travel. So how did you guys come up with this idea?
Well, the beginnings are actually kind of mundane. We have a lot of scripts lying around, but none of them cheap enough that we could actually make. We've been struggling, honestly, for a few years trying to write something, low budget enough to where we could fund it. And we were bemoaning this for the millionth time, and then Cooper was just kicking out every idea that was in his head, and he said, well, what about a camera that is a time machine? And I was like, what? What did you just say? And so really the genesis came from him, and he'll admit that actually he had been thinking of the movie Timeline, I think, where they put a camera in a time machine maybe and send it off in time somewhere to take a picture. So that was kind of, I think, where it had come from for him. But I then went away for the weekend and started working on the characters. I say started working, but really it just started popping into my head, as things do. And then I came back on Monday morning and I was like, man, what if it's kind of like Shallow Grave, ish, or like a Simple Plan where you have a small group of people and they find this thing and it's, I started talking about Rear Window and da-da-da, and then from there we just wrote,
I love the idea that instead of traveling to the future, it was knowledge of the future, and they didn't quite know how to handle it. And they let themselves be convinced of things like maybe you couldn't change it because they found the corpse body.
Right.
And they were, so what started out innocent enough of, hey, let's have some fun, turned into something quite serious and deadly by the end.
No spoilers, though. Maybe deadly.
Okay, I can say maybe spoilers because, okay, we have seen a lot of movies.
Okay,
So
right.
we're a little jaded when it comes to things. And we've been doing this for
Right.
4 years. And so
Okay.
when I don't see an ending coming, I'm shocked and surprised.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
see the ending coming. I
Really?
figured it was going to go a certain way, and it decided to
Ah.
go this other little way, and then girl logic.
That's a
I'm
great
just going to say girl
compliment.
logic.
No, that's great. That's a great compliment. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So time travel movies. What is your favorite time travel movie?
Man, I hate being asked favorite questions. I will say at the time that we wrote this, my favorite time travel movie was Time Crimes. I love Back to the Future, obviously. I love 12 Monkeys.
Who doesn't love Back to the Future? I
yeah,
can't find
I
anybody who
know,
doesn't love
I
Back to
know.
the Future.
Yeah, those people, they don't exist. I'm having trouble thinking of a time travel movie I don't like, honestly. Obviously, we like Primer too, and people
I
have-
love Primer.
Yeah, it's a good one. Although I love it to pieces, and it has like a special place, I think, in time travel movie history. But at the same time, we consciously said, we don't want our ending to be so obfuscated that people need to watch it 10
Multiple
times.
times,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
we wanted two. We were like, you know what? We want it to be. People walk away from the first screen and go, wait a minute, and then on the second one be like, okay, I got it. That
Yeah.
was sort of our plan, and I don't know if we did that, but that was the.
You did that because I watched it again looking for the clues going,
Good.
okay, now it makes sense.
Good.
It's like you left a little trail of evil to follow. It's like, okay, yeah. So the camera in the film, it only takes 24 hours, but they alluded to the fact that it can also do 7 days in the future. Do you plan to make it one where it takes 7 days in the future?
Well, I think that's a tough one because the scientist who invented it, I guess it's no secret that he dies,
Yeah.
before the movie starts. And I think it was his experimentation that was sort of calibrating the camera to whatever it was going to do. And without him around to tinker with it, I don't know, But then again, he came from some mysterious, science laboratory off in wherever.
It's like Mad Scientist, and it's awesome. And he has a little sidekick that shows up with the gun, and I was like, she's going to die. And by the end of the movie, it stops being happy-go-lucky and very, oh my. Like, I was texting a friend of mine during the whole thing going, you've got to watch this movie.
You were texting during the movie?
I was texting during the movie. I sure was. And
That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm one of those evil people who's in the back going, yeah.
But obviously not at Alamo Draft House. Otherwise,
Oh, no,
they
not
would've
that.
kicked
Oh,
you
I
out.
love
Okay.
the Draft House. I would never imagine taking out
Oh,
the
that's good.
Draft
Okay.
House.
Yeah.
Other places are a little different. So what else I enjoyed about this movie was you had a really good set of actors. I mean, it's a very small. There's 3 mains and what, 2 alternates?
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
a
I
good
call them
way.
alternates, but they're like
Sure.
the sidekicks on the side.
Right. Fair enough.
Did
I
you
won't
find
tell
it,
him you said that, but
Did you find it easy to manage a smaller crew over a bigger crew?
um, well, you mean in terms of the cast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say the crew actually got pretty big, but the cast, I think because it was my first feature, I was conscious of the fact that I didn't want to get too unwieldy, But at the same time, we were trying to keep the budget down, and you add more characters, and you add more locations, and things start to balloon. So we were really trying to milk the relationships to be like, well, how much drama and suspense can we get? How many twists and turns can we get out of just, 3 core people?
A lot.
Ah.
We're just going to say that right now. So that giant ass camera, who has to store that when the movie's done?
Oh man, this is a happy, sad story. Cooper, the producer, co-writer, he wanted to get rid of it immediately. He's like, ditch that thing. Like, if we do a sequel, we'll rebuild it, And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this thing's one of a kind, because they'd sourced parts from like an old airplane graveyard. It was not like, wasn't just something you can go buy at Home Depot. So we kept it in a storage unit for 2 years at a ridiculously exorbitant, rate. And then just, I think about 3 weeks ago, finally, the movie, they're making the DVD, like it's all done.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let's strip the hard to find metal parts off it and get rid of this thing. And so now it's in a landfill somewhere.
So one day they'll be going to go dig it up and say, this camera could look into the future. We need to know.
Right. Yeah.
So if you were to actually have a camera like that, do you think you would be strong enough to look into the future and try to do it every day, or would you not want to know?
Oh no, I would do exactly what Finn did, but for screenplays. I would put screenplay pages up so that I didn't have to know.
This today.
Exactly. That is, and I'm not joking either. I would take that over a winning lottery number, honestly. Like that's precisely what I would do.
So you said you were kicking around other ideas to make. What is the one idea you really want to make that you're like, one day that's going to be my dream project?
Wow, I've never been asked that question. I have a lot of screenplays. You know what? I have a full-on, I don't want to sound like a one-trick pony because our next project will not have anything to do with time travel, but I have like a full-on, very big scale, like time travel, time loop movie that I feel like hasn't been done. And I think that, in my dreams, that's like 4 movies away, that I'll be able to get to the point where I can get the budget and all that to make that thing.
So, having so many screenplays, do you find it hard to come up with ideas that other people haven't already tried to use and manipulate and create? And because I noticed that we start seeing the same things in a lot of movies these days.
Not only is it hard to do that, but it's actually the heartbreaking thing about having written so many screenplays in my 20s is that a few of them I eventually see get made, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't get to the point in my career where I could make that before they did.
Yeah.
I had a movie called Life Clock that was all about people that had like a digital clock on their body. It was like keeping track. Yeah, exactly. And
I
In Time
loved
came out.
In Time.
It was, people remembered the script from film school, and I had people calling me going like, man, you finally got your movie made.
You're like, no.
Yes, and I was crying on the
Someone
other end
made
of the
my
phone.
movie?
Yeah. And I mean, obviously it's just, cultural subconscious, whatever you want to call it. I think, ideas rise up and more than one person thinks of them sometimes, and then, it's whoever gets there first.
Maybe someone stole your camera.
Right.
The screenplay page is mine today. Thank you. Goodbye. And they'll put like the fake one down.
Right.
So if you were to actually try to make a sequel to this movie, which I honestly don't think it needs to happen, how would you want to tackle it? Like, where would the camera end up being? Would it be a military experiment?
Right. I've tried not to think about this because I don't want to do a sequel right away, but we've actually been approached about doing a TV show because it's very episodic. A photo pops out and blah, 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 you see tomorrow. And so we've had to think about this. Boy, that's a tough question. I think when we talked about the TV show, everyone they want like more of this, and so we had to keep it small scale. We're like, oh, but what if it's a bigger apartment complex? And it's more like Rear Window where you see like 20 windows or something, and you can really hone in on a lot of different stories. But I personally, I would love to see them figure out a way to move it so that it becomes a much bigger story. You know what I mean? Because I love action, I love military, I love, I would love to see it go crazy places.
A TV series. I don't know if I could see it as a long-running TV series. There are some things like a mini-series maybe I could see it as. But man, a TV series, I wouldn't even thought about that.
Yeah, well, I think, the executives that I've talked to or the producers, they went like quantum leap with it. They're like, oh yeah, they can solve crimes or like help people. They see tomorrow. And I was like, I don't. That's
What are
not
they gonna
my.
put that giant thing on a crane on the back of a truck and just go around town like the Google Map
Well,
cars?
I think somebody thought, oh, you could point it at a TV and see tomorrow's news, or hold up a newspaper and see. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
oh, let's prevent that murder, let's prevent that crime.
So then
Which-
we get Minority Report.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. True. But
Maybe, yeah.
but this movie's dark. My response to those lines of inquiry are always like, well, did you see my movie? Like I'm much more interested in seeing people, kind of struggle and fall down and get tempted, and it's a cautionary tale,
Yeah.
So that's if it was a show, it'd have to be like that, but Breaking Bad style, where just somebody
Oh,
takes
we
it.
went to a Breaking Bad reference. Here we go now.
Yeah, you can't talk about TV without making the reference.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But we don't make Family Guy jokes here. That's the one rule on Family
Oh,
TV. Yeah.
oh, because you're not a Family Guy fan?
We used to be like when it first came out, but then it
Right.
just kind of didn't stop.
Fair
you know?
enough. Fair enough. Yep.
So we're here with Time Lapse, Other Worlds Austin. How's everyone liked it so far?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, the audiences have been cool, and Bears, has been amazing. And this is our 67th festival, but I will say, we don't always get taken this well care of. Like, we feel very showcased and honored here, and it's great.
Yeah, I had to look you up after I watched the movie, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of awards. No wonder I like the movie so much. But to be perfectly honest, you are my second favorite movie at the festival.
Wow.
What is your favorite movie so far besides yours?
At the festival,
Mm-hmm.
I am guilty of having pretty much just gotten here in time to see my movie, so I haven't actually seen another movie yet at the festival.
If you get a chance, you have to watch Bloody Knuckles. That is my
I've
favorite
heard it's
movie.
amazing. Yeah, I heard it's really
you
good.
have a zombie hand and a bondage S&M superhero. That's right up my alley.
Sold. Yeah, it's sold.
Done.
Gonna go see it.
No time travel, but hey, demon hands. So thanks for taking time with us, and good luck with the movie, and maybe not a sequel, I guess. I'm thinking,
Thanks
yeah,
for
no.
jinxing it.
I'm going to totally jinx it. We'll be back with more from Other Worlds Austin after this.